Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be looking at r/Best of Redditor Updates. I've been delving into the archives again. I love it there, not gonna lie. So yeah, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in listening to with me today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please, thank you. Okay, so this one was shared to the subreddit by Internet Addict 104, and the title is OOP's family like to take his seat whenever he gets up. He gets fed up and brings his own chair to the gatherings. Brother-in-law does not take to this very well, ends up going full Hulk. Oh goody, what we're going to see now today then is more adults having tantrums like toddlers, by the sounds of it. So of course, Internet Addict 104 is not the original OP. The original OP is on the screen and their username is sit throwaway. Originally posted into r/am-I-the-butthole. And they have said, "This is my first post on here. Apologise for any format issues. Don't you worry, Internet Addict 104, I'm sure it'll all be fine." Right then, so am I the butthole for walking out over a chair? Posted March 2nd, 2022. Okay, hear me out. For as long as I can remember in my family, almost any time I got up from my seat, someone would take it to either be funny or to claim it as if no one was using it. And as a teenager, it literally got to the point that I bought my own folding chair so I could pick it up and carry it with me. If I left it where it was, someone would take it, then get mad when I wanted it back. As an example, on a holiday last year, I got up from my chair for a moment to help with something and came back to find a kid in it. And then the family berating me for wanting them to move. But I tell them that when a man owns and brings his own chair, they expect to be able to use it. I own a very nice folding chair that's comfortable and easily portable, and I pretty much bring it to any family events because people are always scrambling for chairs. Imagine your family is that irritating, you have to bring your own chair. I would just not be going to any gatherings, I'm not gonna lie. Well, the other day I went to a birthday party for my nephew, and like always, I bought my own chair. But at some point I had to use the bathroom. When I came back, my chair was gone, and everyone acted like they didn't know where it was. I said they had 1 minute to return it, or I was leaving. They laughed at first, but then realised I was serious as I started going for the door. Everybody told me to just calm down and it was a joke. I said, I don't care if they think I'm a stick in the mud. I wouldn't be bringing my own chair all the time if other people weren't always taking my seat when I got up. I don't think it's funny. I never did. My brother-in-law then pulled the chair out of where he'd hidden it, and when I got it back, one of the legs was bent. I said it was not like this before, and how could he possibly have done this to a metal chair? He said he could fix it, and tried to unbend it, but made it worse. The chair is pretty much unusable now because the leg is warped and I don't want to risk putting weight on it. I told my brother-in-law he owes me $50 for the chair because that's what I paid for it new 2 years ago. He got mad and kept saying that it was a stupid chair. I said it was my stupid chair, and that this wouldn't have happened if he wasn't so immature that he and everyone else had to mess with me for years about where I sit. Then I took my now messed up chair and walked out. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, that they're just targeting the OP as well? Like, that's the bit that I hate the most. Like, if they were doing it all to each other, yeah, it would still irritate the shit out of me because I can't stand it when people just do annoying stuff like that just to be annoying when the other person's clearly not enjoying it. But the fact that they only seem to do it to the OP, that would really annoy me. And hiding the chair of their own that they bring, like, no, that's not okay. The OP's made it very clear they don't enjoy it. That's where it should have stopped. It's not a joke. If the person you're, joking with does not find it funny and is not enjoying it and is not part of it. And yes, of course, I'm well aware that in the grand scheme of things, it's only a chair, but it's the fact that the OP has clearly stated that they are not enjoying it and that they don't want to be part of this silly little game, and they still do it. My family has been blowing my phone up saying that it's just a chair and to let it go, but I still want my brother to pay me back for it. Am I the butthole? No. Update. Last night I sent a mass text out to my family that I will not be going to any more family functions, no matter how important it is, until they make this right by promising not to screw with me anymore and repay me for the chair. They've mostly gone quiet now, but I can wait. I've got all the time in the world for them to realise I'm serious. So, Then we have an update that says I walked out over a chair and my family tore itself apart. July 26th, 2022. I wasn't going to come back here again. To be honest, I'd completely forgotten I made this account. I only got back in because I'd written down the password and left it in my desk. I was listening to the Reddit videos on YouTube a couple weeks ago when I suddenly heard my old Am I the Butthole post. So I thought I'd give an update. Well, things escalated a lot after I made that post because I linked it to my parents and other family members after a little while. Oh, so you just sent them the post? Okay, fair enough. They were furious with me at first. Some even mocked me, saying things like, "Oh, watch what you say or do around OP. He might just post about it on Reddit." But when they actually read the comments on my post when I made them, they became mortified. My brother-in-law did agree to pay for a new chair and gave me the money I asked for. I bought a better folding chair than my last one and resumed going to family functions. But whenever I was there was this air about some of the family members. They looked at me like I'd sucked all the fun out of the room. My parents had stopped thinking the chair thing was funny, and even scolded a kid for taking my seat when I got up to use the bathroom. The only problem is that kid was my nephew, and he started crying when they made him get up. My brother-in-law came to the boy's rescue, and my nephew ended up blurting out that his daddy told him that he could do it. Okay, yep, that makes sense. When I was out of the bathroom, there was a big fight about it going on. Several family members, including my sister and brother-in-law, were all yelling that it was just a damn chair, and I shouldn't be so butthurt about it. I mean, yeah, but if it's just a chair, why are they continuing and persistently continuing to do this then? If it's not that big of a deal, they can stop. You know? It feels like targeted bullying, doesn't it? My parents demanded to know why they were so butthurt about not being allowed to screw with me anymore. Like, what was their motivation after doing it for so long? It made no sense and wasn't funny anymore, and that's where I intervened. I told them none of this crap would ever have happened if they hadn't been so intent on messing with me when there really was no point to it, and I only started bringing my own chair because I could never find a stable place to sit. And if they still thought that they were in the right about the situation, then they were just bullies, plain and simple. And what kind of example is that to be setting for their son? Brother-in-law raged, grabbed my new chair and hurled it through the living room bay window. Oh my goodness. There was a bit of a pause before he realised what he had done. Yeah, see, he's a bully. He didn't like being told he couldn't do it because he's a bully. Then he took off in his car and left my sister and nephew there. My parents got my sister to call him, and over the phone they threatened to go to the police if he didn't pay for the damages. Brother-in-law yelled a few F-bombs until my sister took the phone back, and she said that he can either make things right or she'll divorce him. Well, that did the trick because he came back looking like a kicked puppy with his head hanging low. He apologised to me and my parent without even looking at us, said that he would pay for the new bay window and left again. My sister said he drank himself to sleep that night. Your sister needs to find a new husband by the sounds of it. He's a bully. He can't be doing with being told no. He throws a toddler tantrum if he's told no. And he's drinking himself to sleep when he doesn't get his own way and when he has to feel the repercussions of his own actions. Those are many red flags. Many, many. My new chair was just fine. It took being hurled through a bay window like a champ. There was hardly a scratch on it. My brother hired a window company to come and replace the window, and they had to measure and order a new one before it could be installed, and until then, the window had to be covered with plywood. It took some time, but they got the new bay window, and it's better than the old one, though I imagine that it was extra expensive because it's a bay window. The family was still divided about the situation for a while, mainly brother-in-law's parents, my uncle, and a couple cousins. They blamed me and called me obnoxious over insisting on bringing my own chair and refusing to let anyone else use it. So I compromised. I said that if I had a good designated seat that no one will try to take away, I'll leave my chair in my car. It took 2 more family barbecues before they finally agreed to this. Since then, I've left the chair in my car unless there really wasn't enough seating, and that's only happened once since. The problem is, though, that even though they stopped screwing with me, they were still screwing with each other until things went too far. They still liked to take each other's seats, but I guess others were following my example because they put their feet down and demanded it stop. It's been going on for decades, and they've had enough. Brother-in-law stayed out of the fight entirely and hasn't caused any more trouble. He's bloomin' lucky he's still around, to be honest. Not like that, I mean like part of the family. But for several family functions, a number of people didn't bother to show up. My mother was broken up about it because she loves hosting parties. It took months, but everything more or less normalised again. But without the chair thing going on, some have resorted to other stupid pranks, like a little device you hook to a chair that makes farts. They didn't do this to my seat, but did it to a cousin, and said cousin got really petty at the next party and let out real farts. He said he ate a whole packet of fibre bars and had eggs for breakfast. And it was damn nasty. Other pranks included hiding eating utensils, a stink bomb, hiding some sort of monster thing in the toilet, cellophane in a doorway, ripping paper when somebody bends over, messing with drinks, hiding shoes, copying outfits, a container of foam packing peanuts above a doorway, and finally, the one that really infuriated my aunt and uncle when a party was held at their house, a glitter bomb. Oh no. They got the carpet professionally cleaned and billed the person who made the glitter bomb for it. Yeah, but they're still going to be finding glitter. I'm telling you now, you can get it professionally cleaned all you want. They are going to be finding glitter in their butt cracks for years. So, now pranks are just over. They don't want any more. I'm fine with that, but the last few family functions have been a bit dull. I think they were so used to how things were that now they're trying to find other ways to amuse themselves that don't involve cell phones. Well, that says a lot, doesn't it? Apparently your family are really just very boring people if they can't have fun without having to try and do something at someone else's expense. Says an awful lot. Now, of course, with this post, in the grand scheme of things, is it just a chair? Yeah, it's just a chair. It's the way that they would do it all the time, and it sounded like it was very targeted on the OP for years. Anyone would get fed up with that. Like, I know I would. I'd be like, I'm just not coming. Like, I wouldn't have even fannied around with it for this long, personally. I would have been like, a long time ago, if you don't pack it in, I'm not coming. Simple as that, because I'm not being the butt of your jokes. It's as simple as that. But yeah, it's so easy to look at this and be like, it's just a chair, but I completely understand why the OP would get annoyed with this. Most pranks are basically based on humiliating someone. So there's always someone who's not enjoying it. So I don't think they're a good form of humour at all. Anyway, down in the comments, Archangel Zeriel says, it's a simple rule, and yet so many people get it wrong. If the victim is laughing too, or otherwise enjoying it, it is a prank and you carry on. It's a prank and you carry on. If the victim is upset or angry, it's bullying and you stop doing that. And the all-important corollary rule of the fact that any two people have a relationship such that they can prank each other does not automatically entitle you to join the pranking, no matter how you are related to one or both of them. Exactly. And then Emily Banks says, laughter or seeming like they're enjoying it isn't even a guarantee anyway. When I was younger and less sure of myself, I always felt like I had to laugh along to stay friends with my group. Don't want to be the unfunny friend who spoils all the jokes. I've noticed lots of friend groups that have more than 3 people tend to pick one person to dump on, and as someone who's been there, it's fucked. I've even noticed myself falling into the trap of joining in when others are doing it to someone before stopping myself. I'm fairly self-conscious about it now. I prefer to just stick to a few close friends these days. Seeing as we're only at 18 minutes of recording, I think we can fit in another post, which I am looking for right now. Organisation is my finest skill, clearly. Okay, we're going to read one from Am I the Borthole? So this one says, am I the Borthole for videotaping my wife eating all my fries to make a point? I've seen many posts about wives, girlfriends who insist they don't want anything. It could never be me. You ask me if I want something, I'm like, yes, I do. when the boyfriend is getting food, but then proceed to eat his food. So, I apologise if this sounds familiar. Honestly, I'm not going to lie, I understand the way this OP's probably annoyed, because I can see where this is going. Because when you have kids, it's very similar. Like, you'll say to them, I am going to make this snack. Do you want one? No, I don't want one. Are you sure you don't want one? No, Mum, I don't want one. I am making this snack for me to eat because I am hungry. If you tell me afterwards that you want one, I am going to want to go and cry in the toilet. Do you want one? No, Mum, I don't want one. You sit down. The minute your ass touches that seat, Mum, can I have a bit of your snack? I don't eat a lot of fast food, but I do indulge when we have long drives. My wife typically packs a lot of healthy snacks for herself, yogurts. Okay, let's see how everyone says this. So, when I used to work in like this logo place, branding place, there was a company that sold this, and they would come in and they would say it as quinoa. Now, I've always been told it's quinoa. How does everyone say it? Because I am dying to know. Anyway, I'm going to say quinoa because I like the way that feels to say. Yogurts / quinoa salads in the cooler, protein bars, whatever. I like McD's. She claims the food is disgusting, rude, mind your mouth, but then invariably wants a few fries and ends up eating half of them or more, although she always denies eating so many and claims she just had a few. On the trip in question a couple weeks ago, it's she and I and my 13-year-old son Nick. Wife needs a bathroom break, so we pull off at an exit where there's a McD's. Son and I go to order food to go while she's in the bathroom. I asked her if she wanted anything, as I always do, and she said, no, but I will take a couple of your fries. The hell you will, my love. The hell you will. Get your own. My go-to order at McD's is the $5, although now it's the $6 at a lot of places. Inflation, love it. Value meal, which includes a McDouble, 4 McNuggets, a small fries, and a drink. I'm getting hungry. It's plenty of food for me. It would still be plenty if my wife took a few or a couple fries. I like McD's fries, but I always eat them last because while I don't mind if the fries are not piping hot, I do like the other food best when it's still warm. Call me disgusting, but I kind of like McDonald's chips cold. I know that's rank, so I'll wait for them to go cold. Haven't had a McDonald's in so long. Over a year. Oh my goodness. Side note, having read other Reddit stories on this topic, I'm sure some will say, just order more fries, even though she says she doesn't want anything. I've tried. I get a medium for me and give her the small from the value meal. But a medium fries is almost $4, and it is over $4 with tax. That's adding over 60% to the cost of the meal. And when I've done this, then she insists on not touching the fries because I told you not to get any for me. So now I've got a small fries and a medium fries to eat on my own. Oh, what a terrible problem to have. Which I can do, but it seems like a waste to spend another $4 since I was perfectly happy with the original amount of food. I am now realizing how greedy I am. Anyway, on this day, I tell my son I want to do an experiment. I tell him, after we get our food and get back to the car, to take out all of his food, take my burger and give it to me, and take my McNuggets and hold them in the back seat so that the only thing left in the bag is my fries. Now, admittedly, a small fries at McD's isn't that many, but it's typically at least 20 to 30 fries. I love OPs counted. I tell him to put the bag with the fries on the console between my wife's and my seat, and to set up his phone and take a video of the bag from the back seat, which will record until I tell him to stop. I tell him that I'm not going to put my hand in the bag at any time, and I predict that his mum will eat all of my fries. Sure enough, we're driving along, I eat my burger, make some small talk, see my wife's hand going into the bag several times. I ask my son for my McNuggets. I eat those. FYI, I eat them sauce-free, so no mess in the car. Heathen. Chit chat further, all the while smirking to myself as I see my wife's hand go back into the bag some more. Finally, she says, "Okay, give me your garbage," and starts putting it in the McD's bag. I say, "What are you doing?" And she says, "Cleaning up." I say, "I still need to eat my fries." And she says, "We ate them all, honey." "No, you ate them, you thief." I'll admit I overreacted a bit here on purpose, incredulously announcing loudly, "What do you mean we ate them all? I haven't had any." To be clear, I wasn't mad. This was the result I expected anyway. But I tried to act mad while suppressing laughter. She said, "Don't be silly, I only had a couple." And I repeated that I had not had a single fry and that I had video evidence to prove it. She said, "What do you mean?" And I said that Nick had taken a video of the past 20 minutes or so, and you will not see me take any fries from that bag. So if they're all gone, it's because you ate them all. And she blew up at me and him in a way that I did not expect, yelling about videotaping without consent, as if I had made a surreptitious sex tape or something egregious like that, yelling at Nick for going along with your father's foolish pranks, etc. I told her I just wanted her to understand that she eats more of my food than she realizes, and this is why I would prefer for her to just get her separate order of fries so that we can both enjoy our food without resentment. She never watched the video, although I think she now believes that she did in fact eat all the fries. I think she already knew she did, and that's why she blew up over the fact she'd recorded her. However, she's been ignoring me, and worse, treating our son badly, blowing up at him for little things that have never bothered her before. For the past 2 weeks, expecting an apology for videotaping her, I guess. Yeah, no, she's definitely acting like a bit of a twat if she's doing that. Like, it's one thing, you know, getting a bit miffed because you've been caught out on a blatant lie. It's another thing acting like that afterwards. That's a bit of a character flaw. I thought this was a harmless way to make my point. Am I the butthole? No. So then down in the comments, Scathnet says, "Not the butthole. Years ago I told my wife that the way she talks to me a significant amount of time is rude and bitchy, and she didn't believe me. Somehow, the answering machine recorded her talking to me, and we found the recording later when listening to messages. She said, 'Wait, I really sound like that?' I said yes, a lot of the time. She was visibly embarrassed and started working on her communication style, which got better. Long story short, sometimes people need to see unbiased evidence because they're too wrapped up in protecting their egos to admit to criticism from someone else." Exactly. And then Pretty Flacoo says that was really grown up of her to realise and change her ways. Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's all we've got time for today. I am now extremely hungry. Great. If you made it all the way to the end with me, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you give me a little like, subscribe, notifications on, that is your initiation into the Coven of Void. Welcome! Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day, and I hope you get some fries or something else equally as tasty. I'm not going to because I've just brushed my teeth ready for bed after doing some recordings. I could cry. But yeah,